another episode, and we are in a different place, as you can see. We are in Palm Beach, Florida, and we'll do the next, at least this episode and the next one here, and see if it changes the episode in some way with these beautiful surroundings and lovely area, and you will hear in the background some waterfalls. And this is where I live during the winter, a good deal of the time, and enjoy it here very, very, very much. And it also happens to be 1 mile from my very famous and important client's residence. So we're here working on what I'm going to talk to you about right now. So where are we? Where we are right now is we're at the stage where the state legislatures control really the fate of the country, because in 5 of the state legislatures, there is evidence that we have submitted that the election of 2020 in each of those states was compromised, stolen. There was voter fraud of massive proportions in each one of those states. It's demonstrable. It's provable by solid evidence, over 1,000 affidavits, videotape, and statistical analysis by experts that is not even really disputed. And I'm going to go through just one of those states with you now, because it's probably the one that will be the focus of the first decision that has to be made about this, and that's the state of Georgia. And also so that because the details here are enormously important, so that we can focus on those details, and you can see immediately that what the big media, big tech, big corporations, and the crooked leaders of the Democratic Party are trying to do to you is to cover up what in fact was the worst situation of pervasive voter fraud, systemic voter fraud in the history of our country. And I know they want to accuse me of all kinds of terrible things for saying it. I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say fraud on many networks and on many of the internet outlets. I'm not allowed to say it. I'm not allowed to say it, even though you and I have seen a videotape of it, haven't we? Several episodes ago, we played for you in great detail the Fulton County vote counting, and we'll play a little bit of it for you now, just to remind you of it. The Fulton County vote counting, which in and of itself proves that Georgia was stolen by Joe Biden and by the Democrats. That one video proves it. For me to say there was no fraud, I would have to pretend that I never saw that video. I'd have to pretend I was a fool and I couldn't figure out what was going on in that video. And when you watch it, you're going to have to pretend you're a fool if you don't see the obvious signs of criminality. So let's begin with that, because although it's not by any means the only evidence of fraud in Georgia, it's really the most dramatic. And I think you might remember that when we first dealt with this, I said this film will be like the Zapruder film was to the Kennedy assassination. For those of you who remember the Kennedy assassination, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, where it's a matter of history, let me just explain what that means. This gentleman, Zapruder, actually took film of the shooting of John Kennedy. It didn't come out for some time. And the shooting, the film creates lots of doubt about the findings of the Warren Commission, and it's never really been resolved to the ultimate satisfaction of everyone. Well, no matter what happens in terms of the outcome here, whether the legislatures that should do it overturn the certification for Biden and certify Trump, who actually won those particular 5 states, or not, this voter fraud is going to be part of our history. And as time goes by, more and more is going to be learned about it, even the international nature of it. And this film will stand as testament to the fact that it actually happened. And that puts a lot of responsibility on the state of Georgia, because Georgia is the place that can rectify it. And the state legislature of Georgia is the only place that can actually rectify it the most effectively. So what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is a film that was done on the evening of November 3rd, leading into November 4th, the night of the election. The votes were being counted in Fulton County, in this arena. Under the law of Georgia, when votes, mail-in votes like this are being counted, the public has to be present. Not just Republicans and Democratic, what we call inspectors or observers or watchers, but actual members of the public are allowed to be present, and you are required to have them there when you're counting the vote. When you see this film, you will see that the first thing that the election workers do, the small number of Democratic election workers do, is they move out the observers. They move out the observers, even though originally they were going to count ballots all night. There's evidence that they claimed there was a water main break, and therefore they had to stop. And in fact, there was no water main break. That was a lie. And they used that excuse to remove everyone and say that the counting was over. And they removed, therefore, the Republican inspectors, the Democratic inspectors, the press, and then some of the just citizens who, as I said, as a matter of practice in Georgia, are present for vote count. You will then see that that entire area that was that had observers is completely empty. They check the place out. They make sure there's no one around. They make sure the doors are locked so nobody else can come in. And then at a certain point, they look around again, and they go under a table covered by a black blanket, and they start pulling out ballots. Now, we begin with, why are ballots under a table? And then they start distributing those ballots for counting to 3 or 4 different areas where there are counting machines. And you can see it's done very hurriedly. It's done in a way suggesting that they are nervous about what they're doing. And by the way, even if these ballots were legitimate ballots, which I doubt they are, this would be entirely illegal. And every one of those ballots would be declared null and void, because each one of these ballots is being counted in violation of the law of Georgia, that, in fact, there must be the public present when ballots are being counted, and the public, including the Republicans, have been excluded. So this counting is being done surreptitiously and secretly. So every one of these ballots is illegitimate. Every one of them. Now, just to determine the number, when you look at this, and we're just going to show you excerpts of it. It's available on earlier podcasts in greater length if you feel the necessity to watch the whole thing. It looks an awful lot like a bank heist, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like clearly illegal activity. We will take a short break, and we'll be right back.
This is rice. Think it's good for you? Think again.
If you want a good cigar, go to a good cigar shop. $20 off your order. Every time that this took place. Freshness guarantee shipped directly of the voter theft in Georgia. Afterward, we tracked the time that this took place. How many votes were counted during this period of time, officially? And the votes counted during this period of time were about 120,000, and almost all of them were for Biden. If you exclude those votes as illegal votes, we're talking now just about this one film. If you exclude those votes, as you should, because they're illegal votes, counted without the presence of the public, and you exclude those votes from the numbers in Fulton County, which is where they'd have to be excluded from, instead of Trump losing Georgia by a mere 10,000 votes, he wins it by a much more substantial 50 or 60,000 votes. Just as one piece of evidence. So don't tell me there wasn't fraud in this election. And don't tell me I can't use the word fraud unless you think you're some kind of a Venezuelan dictator or maybe a reincarnated Russian or Nazi dictator that can decide what I can say and what I can't say. I can see it with my own eyes. I can see what thieves you Democrats are with my own eyes. So don't pull this on me and on the American people. That alone requires the legislature of Georgia to change the false certification that was made by the governor, the Secretary of State, and others, because the certification that was made and the vote being sent forth by the state of Georgia is a fraud. It's a false statement. It's really a violation of federal law in making a false statement to the government. Now, beyond that, just to show you how chaotic the election in Georgia was and how illegal, here are just some of the smaller facts that all add up to voter theft, voter fraud, reducing the legitimate vote that Biden actually received, and increasing the legitimate vote that Trump actually received. 2,560 felons with incomplete sentences were registered to vote. They had no right to vote, and they actually voted. That's 2,560 votes that have to be also discounted. Remember, the margin was only 10,000. 66,247 underage people registered to vote and illegally voted. They have to be removed. Remember, the margin was 10,000. 2,423 unregistered people voted. I don't know if you're adding these up, but we're approaching 70,000 votes now, a little over. Remember, the margin was 10,000. 4,926 registered voters who registered to vote in another state after their Georgia registration date voted. In other words, they were registered to vote in another state and they voted in Georgia. 395 people actually voted in Georgia and in another state, which is a crime, by the way, and also those votes are discounted. 15,700 people voted in Georgia but changed their address before the election, which means that those votes should be discounted. The margin was 10,000. 40,279 people voted who failed to re-register to vote in their new county in time after moving from one county to another. Now, you say, well, these are people who just made mistakes. What this really suggests is, because there are so many mistakes, very hasty balloting, which usually suggests a Democratic machine pumping in extra votes. That maybe is one person voting 7 or 8 times, another person putting in phony ballots for other people. But in any event, they violate the law. 40,279 people voted who failed to re-register to vote in their new county in time after moving from one county to another. So that vote is removed. 98 people who registered too late to vote in the election were allowed to vote. And how about this one? 10,315 dead people voted. I told you the margin was 10,000. Looks like dead people elected Biden. 10,315 people who had died by the time of the election. Real trick for them to vote, huh? And I guarantee you they voted all Democrat, because the Democratic Party has a much greater appeal to dead people. It always has. When I ran for mayor of New York, there were always large numbers of dead people who voted against me. And I used to feel somehow I didn't know how to appeal to their vote. I even thought at one point of, maybe campaigning in cemeteries. This is a trick of the Democratic Party that's like 100 years old. It's disgusting Happens in every state. There are always 7, 8, 9,000, 10,000 dead people who vote in New York. It just so happens that the margin here was 10,000, and 10,315 dead people voted. And there wasn't fraud? One more time. 10,315 dead people voted in Georgia. And some moronic Democratic senator accused anyone who says fraud of sedition. Hey, moron senator, I accuse you of being crooked. 10,315 people who were dead voted in Georgia, and Biden won by 10,000. No, he didn't. Biden lost by about 100,000. 305,701 absentee ballots were applied for too early. 305,000! 2,664 absentee ballots were sent to voters too early. The rejection rate, because Republicans were excluded from examining these ballots, as we saw, not only in Fulton County, the rejection rate traditionally in absentee ballots, which get inspected by Republicans and Democrats, has traditionally been, well, let's see. In 2016, it was almost 3%. In 2018, it was 3.5%. And this time, with a six-fold increase in the number of absentee and mail-in ballots, it was 0.34%. In other words, there were almost no rejections. It was multiple times less than in prior elections. Had the statutory procedure for signature matching, voter identity, and eligibility verification been followed, we should have seen between 38,250 to 45,600 absentee ballots rejected. Far more than Mr. Biden's margin of victory. I don't know how many ways we can analyze this to show you Biden lost, Trump won, the Democrats in Georgia cheated, and some of the Republican leadership is complicit in that by turning their back on it and lying to you. Once again, two things. There's a videotape that shows Democrats stealing at least 120,000 votes. It's on tape. It'll be there forever. And unless Georgia changes it, it'll dishonor the state of Georgia as having participated in an obvious, massive fraud. On tape, to be seen by everyone. Also, 10,315 dead people voted in Georgia in an election that was decided by 10,000 votes. If this legislature lets that stand, the legislature should be ashamed of itself, and it's a Republican legislature. They have a duty under the United States Constitution to fix it. It's their responsibility. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution says the electors shall be selected by the state legislatures, by the legislatures of the several states, actually. They are the ultimate body responsible for this. If this is done fraudulently, the responsibility for that fraud, although they weren't the ones who carried it out, but the responsibility for vindicating that fraud rests on them. Do they have the courage to do that? There is no doubt there was fraud. Again, the videotape, the 10,315 people who voted, who were dead, numerous other things. It's their responsibility, no matter how unpopular, no matter how they're going to be castigated, no matter whether it finishes their career in politics. It's their responsibility to stand up and perform their constitutional duty honestly and honorably. And if they want to live with themselves, and if they want to vindicate the honor of the state of Georgia, they will do that. We'll take a break, and we will be right back. My friends, if you want to help preserve America right now, while you still can, join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, the fastest growing conservative group in America, especially for those age 50 and up. Joining AMAC gives you access to money-saving benefits, cutting-edge news, and a great bi-monthly magazine. More importantly, AMAC fights for you. A socialist storm is brewing. Our constitutional republic has rarely faced the perils we do today. Edmund Burke said it best. All it takes for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. If you care about our future like I do, then join AMAC today. Over 2 million conservatives like you and me have already joined AMAC. Stand with us by joining right now. Just go to amac.us/Rudy. That's amac.us/Rudy. The benefits of AMAC membership are great, but the cause is even greater. Join today at amac.us/Rudy. Thank you for returning to our analysis of the massive voter theft accomplished in Georgia that must be remedied. I finish with one of the many demonstrations, statistical demonstrations of the fraud in Georgia, for which there are demonstrations for 5 or 6 other states. You can see here how they cheated on this particular graph. You'll see, in order to bring Biden back, because he was down by 2.5% with 85% of the vote cast, pretty much gone. They injected, all of a sudden, the votes cast pretty even, and then in the middle of the night, on the 4th, the 3rd being the election, the 4th being the morning after the election, when nobody was really looking, in the middle of the night, they injected 107,040 votes for Biden at 6:34 a.m. in the morning. Those votes are way beyond what those machines can count at that period of time. This was a net increase of 107,040 votes to Biden's total. The spike was injected into the total, and a normal vote pattern would look like a natural progression without that kind of spike. And this is submitted by experts who testify in court and whose testimony qualifies to prove voter fraud. Once again, I don't mean to belabor it. I just conclude with the fact that the evidence in front of the legislature of the state of Georgia is overwhelming, that the Democrats stole the election in Georgia, that Trump won it by close to 100,000 votes, that he is being cheated out of it. And I don't know what kind of an American you are if you stand by and let that happen because you're afraid that the liberal media is going to attack you. If that continues, if we let this happen to us, this will become the norm in our election. This is a year in which we allowed them to take from us a good deal of our freedom of speech. We allowed them to take a lot of our freedom of religion, freedom of movement. Well, I'll be darned if we're going to let them take our free, fair, and transparent vote from us. And part of whether they do or not rests in the hands of and on the shoulders of the legislators of Georgia. And let's hope that their patriotism overcomes their fear. Thank you, and we'll be back in a few days with another episode of Rudy's Common Sense.
Did you know there's a wrong way to take vitamin C? Now, one thing many of my clients do to get their vitamin C is just guzzle down gallons of orange juice. But orange juice is actually not a great source of vitamin C. In fact, despite what their commercials tell us, orange juice can actually weaken our immune system, meaning it is definitely not what you want to be drinking if you're worried about getting sick. That's why, as a holistic nutritionist, I never drink it or give it to my family. But if you're like most people, you probably think since oranges are rich in vitamin C and vitamin C supports a healthy immune system, then why would orange juice be any different? And that makes total sense on the surface. But unfortunately, it's not that simple. And there's one thing that orange juice companies do not want you to know. but today I'm exposing the truth. What if I told you that this 16-ounce glass of orange juice has the same amount of sugar as this can of Coca-Cola? Shocking, right? But unfortunately, it's even worse than that. The truth is, this glass of orange juice actually has 27% more sugar than this can of Coca-Cola. And it is no secret that sugar is bad for you, but thanks to research published by the Laboratory of Clinical Infectious Diseases, we now know that sugar can also weaken your immune system, which is why I am telling everyone to pour their orange juice right down the drain. Plus, I've discovered a healthy, sugar-free, and incredibly effective way to support a healthy immune system, and it's something you can do in just 5 seconds a day. My name is Autumn Smith. I'm a holistic nutritionist, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and loving mom. But today, I'm here to talk about something that I've heard a lot of people express concern about lately, the immune system. I made this video for 4 reasons. First, to inform you just how bad sugar can be for your immune system. You see, researchers have found that sugar can suppress immune system cells that attack bacteria. And these effects last for a few hours after you drink a glass of sugary orange juice. Meaning, once your body starts processing this sugar, your immune system goes into standby mode. And any bacteria that comes your way has a free pass right past your immune cells that are supposed to be standing guard. So while you think you're helping your immune system when you have a glass of orange juice, you're actually doing the opposite. But it gets even worse. In addition to putting your immune system on standby mode, in vitro studies have found sugar can weaken white blood cell performance. And white blood cells are like the white knights of your immune system. They are always there in your bloodstream to destroy anything that is trying to attack you. You've seen why sugar is terrible for your immune system, but avoiding sugar is a lot easier said than done, because sugar is everywhere. In the modern American diet, sugar is lurking in nearly every product, even the ones that are labeled as healthy. So it can feel impossible to avoid, which is why it's essential you're doing something else to give your immune system extra support, even when you eat sugar. Which brings me to the second reason I created this video, to stress the fact that you need vitamin C. You see, humans are one of the only mammals that don't produce vitamin C naturally, and studies show that when vitamin C producing animals, like goats, come under emotional or health-related stress like an illness, they begin to produce even more vitamin C, proving that we need vitamin C to protect us from external stress. And since we don't make it ourselves, we need to make sure we're getting it another way, and at certain times, maybe even in higher doses. But there are so many vitamin C supplements, powders, drinks, and gummies. How are you supposed to know what to take? That brings me to the third reason I made this video, to expose the truth about most vitamin C products. This might come as a shock, but after doing research on our options for getting more vitamin C, I found that 99% of vitamin C products are not derived from lemons or limes or vitamin C rich foods like you think they'd be. And in the next few minutes, I'll tell you exactly how to identify these products. Because finally, the fourth reason I made this video is to tell you about a better, more effective way you can support your immune system. Something that is not only free of sugar, but also grain-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and not made with GMOs, which, unfortunately, most vitamin C products are. More on that in a second. So you can have confidence that you are protecting yourself and your family the right way. And I'm not just talking about protection from the common cold. The immune system is vital in protecting against harmful substances like environmental toxins and chemicals. It also protects you from cell changes and harmful cell growth that could result in serious illness. By making sure you're doing everything you can to support your immune system, you can be the healthiest possible version of yourself for years to come. I've already seen these incredible results in thousands of people who were looking for extra immune support but didn't want to settle for something that didn't meet their standards. And I know the solution works because the first person I tried it on was me. I was a fitness trainer on tour with Jennifer Lopez, and I thought I was pretty healthy. I ate plenty of fruits and vegetables and was exercising constantly, but still caught whatever sickness was going around that year. I even had to go to the emergency room while we were on tour in New York City because I was so sick. I could not figure out why my immune system wasn't strong enough to protect me, and the reason might shock you. I realized that because of soil depletion, I was not getting nearly as many nutrients from food as I thought I was. Let me explain. As time goes by, we continue to cultivate more and more land. When this over-cultivation involves chemicals, as it often does, it can kill soil bacteria and fungi, which can reduce the amounts of nutrients from the soil the plants can access. This leads to nutrient-depleted crops, nutrient-depleted animals who eat the crops, and ultimately nutrient-depleted humans like you and me. Researchers at the University of Texas studied nutritional data from both 1950 and 1999 for 43 different fruits and vegetables and found their levels of vitamin C had significantly declined over the past few years. And another study reported you would have to eat 8 oranges today in order to get the amount of vitamin A that our grandparents would have gotten from 1. We are in an unprecedented time in history when the food we are growing is not enough to sustain a healthy lifestyle, meaning we must be doing something else to make sure we stay healthy. So, you've seen how sugar can be detrimental to the immune system, but because it's lurking everywhere, we need to make sure we're getting enough vitamin C to support a strong, healthy immune system, even in those times when we do eat sugar. Now, you'd like to think you can get vitamin C from your diet, but because of nutrient depletion, it's a lot harder to get adequate amounts of vitamin C than it used to be. So, how do we make sure we're getting enough vitamin C to support a strong immune system? If you're like me, you're probably thinking supplements, and you aren't the only one. The supplement industry is projected to be worth a whopping $230.7 billion by 2027. Because they're a fast and easy way to make up for the nutrient depletion that's happened over the last decade. But, as with all industries worth a lot of money, some big manufacturers started seeing the dollar signs and nothing else. They wanted an inexpensive way to manufacture supplements that they could pump out to people just like you and me and make a ton of money. And it worked. But unfortunately, a lot of quality was lost in the process, especially when it comes to vitamin C. There are 2 major problems with most vitamin C products. First, nearly all of them are not even true vitamin C. If you look at the label of virtually any vitamin C product, chances are it will say vitamin C as ascorbic acid. But there's something these vitamin companies don't want you to know. Ascorbic acid is not true vitamin C. Instead, it is the synthetic version of 1 fraction of the vitamin C complex. Ascorbic acid is just the outer shell that holds all the other healing parts of the vitamin C complex together. And taking isolated ascorbic acid is like trying to drive a car with just the steering wheel. You aren't going to get very far. So it makes sense that the human body rids itself of the synthetic ascorbic acid rapidly because it recognizes it as an invader. Whereas natural vitamin C complex is nearly 100% absorbed. And I'm not the only one saying this. Virtually every health expert will agree. The very best way to get the nutrients your body needs is in whole food form. Because not only does your body recognize them as something familiar, but whole food, full spectrum vitamin C contains additional compounds that are loaded with health benefits you aren't going to get with ascorbic acid. Like rutin, which is said to support healthy blood circulation, which is vital for overall health. Tyrosinase, which helps activate the adrenal glands for healthy hormone production, including your sex hormones, and cortisol for healthy stress management. Ascorbigen, that gives the skin extra smoothness, firmness, and a more youthful appearance. Vitamin K, which is essential for healthy clotting of the blood and healthy bones. J factor, which supports the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. P factor, which helps promote vascular health. Now, if you're someone whose gums bleed when brushing your teeth, P factor could help. These are the naturally occurring nutrients our bodies need, not just to survive, but to thrive, which is why nature put them all together in the first place. And if you believe nature knows best, you'll agree the very best way to get your vitamins and minerals is through whole foods, the way nature intended, not from a lab. Which is why many trials using synthetic vitamins have failed to replicate the health benefits from whole foods. And some have even found harm. Now, I do think there's a time and a place for ascorbic acid in times of serious illness, but when it comes to everyday preventative use, there are better options. And I'll tell you my favorite option in just a second. The second problem with most vitamin C products is how they're made. They begin with corn syrup, and it goes through a multiple-step process that involves acetone, like you'd find in nail polish. As if having nail polish in your product wasn't enough, virtually all corn is genetically modified. And these synthetic, genetically modified vitamin C products are not the things I wanted to put in my family members' bodies every day. Which is why, when I realized I needed a vitamin C supplement to stop getting sick year after year, I went searching for a healthy, natural source of vitamin C. And I don't think my requirements were anything extreme. I just wanted a product that met 3 standards. Something that was derived from whole food and provided full-spectrum vitamin C, not just isolated ascorbic acid, something free of genetically modified ingredients, and something that was still pretty potent. But to my surprise, it didn't exist. Everything I found was made with ascorbic acid and processed with harsh ingredients. I knew we needed a better way. But because what I already knew about nutrient depletion, I knew I couldn't just eat oranges and get enough vitamin C. So I went searching for foods that were more potent than an orange. Something that could deliver all the vitamin C your body needs and more, but still have all the beneficial natural qualities of a whole food. And I was thrilled when I found this first fruit, the acerola cherry. The School of Tropical Medicine in San Juan, Puerto Rico first discovered it to be one of the highest natural sources of vitamin C. Gram for gram, the acerola cherry has over 180 times more vitamin C than an orange. Once they realized its potency, it was planted in schoolyards across the country to increase the vitamin C intake of school children. But the acerola cherry doesn't stop there. Because it's full-spectrum vitamin C sourced from whole food, you get tons of additional vitamins, minerals, and beneficial compounds, like vitamin A, which, similarly to vitamin C, is a powerful antioxidant that helps support a healthy immune system. Vitamin A is also necessary for healthy vision, particularly at night, strong bones, and healthy growth and reproduction. But there's more. The acerola cherry also contains calcium, iron, vitamin B3, phosphorus, riboflavin, and thiamine. Are you beginning to see how powerful full-spectrum, whole food source vitamin C can be? And instead of getting just the outer shell of vitamin C like most products, the acerola cherry is the real deal. It's vitamin C the way nature intended. When I realized how powerful the acerola cherry can be, I wanted to share this immune-supporting fruit with as many people as possible. But there was one problem. This is not something you're going to find in your local grocery store or farmer's market. It's native to countries like Puerto Rico, Barbados, and Brazil. But I didn't want to give up on its powerful benefits just because it's hard to get. So I found an acerola cherry farmer who was willing to ship it to me in America and secured a large supply in order to give it to as many people as possible. But I ran into another problem. The more the fruit ripens, the more vitamin C content it loses. So you need to make sure the cherry is harvested early so you can get all the vitamin C it has to offer. Which is why I figured out a way to gently freeze dry the powerful acerola cherry in a way that preserves all the nutrients in its most potent state and put it into an easy-to-take veggie capsule that I call Paleo Valley Essential C Complex. My husband and I started Paleo Valley together as a way to create nutrient-dense, whole food source products that can help you get all the nutrients you need to thrive without any unnecessary additives or harmful ingredients. Nothing synthetic, no GMOs, nothing weird, just food. And that's exactly what we did with Paleo Valley Essential C Complex. But we didn't stop at the acerola cherry, because I found 2 other potent vitamin C-rich superfoods on my search that I had to include. And when they come together, you have one of the most potent, clean vitamin C products on the market. The first is the camu berry that is grown in the native rainforest of Peru. And like the acerola cherry, it is one of the most vitamin C-rich foods on the planet for a strong, supported immune system. But thanks to its whole food nature, it also has tons of vitamins and minerals that have been shown to support healthy gums, eyes, and skin. And it's also shown to have powerful mood-boosting properties. But there was one study in particular comparing the camu to synthetic vitamin C that speaks volumes. Research conducted by brilliant minds from Johns Hopkins, Temple, and Georgetown University took a group of 20 male smokers and gave half of them synthetic vitamin C and the other half drank juice from the camu berry. After 7 days, the camu group had lower markers of both oxidative stress and inflammation, and the group that took synthetic vitamin C saw no changes, proving that whole food vitamin C was significantly more effective than synthetic versions. You can see why I didn't hesitate for a second to include camu in our Essential C Complex along with the acerola cherry. When these 2 fruits come together, you have the most powerful source of natural, whole food vitamin C that I know of. But on my search, I found one more whole food, full spectrum vitamin C food that is so potent, it would have been irresponsible to leave out. It's called the amla berry, and it's been used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine as a way to support heart and brain health. Researchers have called it the wonder berry, and after looking at its benefits, it's no surprise why. Amla berry has been shown to support healthy blood vessels for a healthy heart and circulation, healthy inflammation response for soothed joint discomfort, support a healthy memory and brain function thanks to its antioxidant qualities, and of course, support a strong immune system thanks to its high vitamin C potency. When combined with the camu berry and the acerola cherry, these three fruits are the very best way to support a healthy immune system naturally. No GMOs or synthetic ingredients, and you don't have to eat 8 oranges just to get the nutritional content that your grandparents could have gotten from one. Paleo Valley Essential C Complex is vitamin C the way nature intended. Anyone concerned about having a strong immune system right now should do 2 things. Pour their orange juice down the drain or donate it to a local food bank, and click the link below to get Paleo Valley Essential C Complex today. And in case you have any doubts, we had our Essential C Complex third-party tested to guarantee it is organic and GMO-free. I'm thrilled to report that Essential C Complex is composed of certified organic ingredients, which by definition are GMO-free. But that's not all. It's also grain-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, and contains 0 grams of sugar. And the best part, because it's made from organic whole food ingredients, it's loaded with additional nutrients, minerals, and bioflavonoids, like B vitamins for healthy energy levels and optimal brain function, zinc for extra immune support and a healthy metabolism, magnesium that up to 75% of Americans are not getting enough of, but is vital for muscle and nerve function and a strong immune system. And if you're worried about keeping yourself and your family safe and healthy and want to do so without harmful sugars, GMOs, or harsh processing ingredients, then Paleo Valley Essential C Complex was made with you in mind. From the very first time you take it, you'll know your immune system is strong and supported. But that's not all. Vitamin C has also been shown to promote a better sense of well-being and promote the production of collagen for healthy skin, joints, and gut. You've seen how humans are one of the only mammals that don't produce vitamin C on their own, and that in times of stress and illness, we may benefit from a higher intake of vitamin C, and how it's necessary for maintaining our health in whatever situations life throws at us. But because of overcultivation of soil, the nutrient density of our food products are rapidly declining, making it difficult to get enough vitamin C from diet alone. Plus, you saw how virtually every vitamin C product out there is made with synthetic, isolated portions that are manufactured in a lab and processed with harsh, potentially harmful ingredients. Which is why at Paleo Valley, we found 3 of the most potent sources of natural, full-spectrum vitamin C on the planet: the acerola cherry, camu berry, and the amla berry, and combined them into an easy-to-take capsule. Boosting your vitamin C intake has never been this pure or this easy. In just 5 seconds a day, you can get all the vitamin C you need, plus all the additional beneficial compounds that come with whole food source ingredients. And that's it. 450 milligrams per serving, 750% of the recommended daily value in just 2 small capsules. It is the highest quality vitamin C supplement on the market. And I'm sure you're thinking high quality ingredients that are ethically sourced and tested by a third party usually come with a hefty price tag. And we normally charge $49.99 per bottle, but we want you to have the best possible price, which is why I'm offering you the chance to save up to $156 today on your order. With this deal, you won't be paying $49.99 a bottle. You won't even be paying $39.99 a bottle. But just for $29.99 per bottle, you can get all the amazing benefits of Paleo Valley Essential C Complex. Plus, when you stock up and buy in bulk, you'll get even bigger discounts. That's only 77 cents a day for your health. You probably lose that much on the floor of your car and don't even notice. So, why am I giving away Paleo Valley Essential C Complex for such a small price? It's simple. At Paleo Valley, we make a ton of healthy, ethically sourced, GMO and grain-free products that I know you would love. But first, I want you to see just how great our products are. I'm that confident that you'll love our Essential C complex. And if you don't, no problem. While I highly doubt you'll want to return it, we make refunds a breeze with our Paleo Valley 100% money back guarantee. We don't want you to order anything that you aren't 100% happy with. Therefore, we have a 60-day 100% money back guarantee. So if you aren't thrilled with your order, just let us know and we'll refund you without any questions asked. We are proud to have incredibly loyal customers who love our products, and we're confident you will too. No matter what, you are covered by our 100% money back guarantee if you aren't completely satisfied. Our amazing customers have already written to me about how much they love Paleo Valley Essential C Complex, saying things like, "I've had amazing results from Essential C Complex," or "It makes me feel so good to know that I'm doing the right thing for my family," or "Have tried others and nothing compares." Like these people, you too can experience great immune supportive results. Just think about how great you'll feel when you finally receive your bottle of Essential C Complex and take those first 2 capsules. From this point on, you'll know you're shielding yourself from whatever comes your way. Plus, you know you're getting tons of additional compounds, vitamins, and minerals because you're taking vitamin C the way nature intended, in whole food form. If you're interested in getting Essential C Complex for yourself, don't wait another second. We've already completely sold out, not once, but twice this year, and I anticipate we will sell out again soon. So if you want to get the 3 powerful natural sources of vitamin C that you heard about today, go ahead and click the button below. And remember, if for any reason you aren't happy with your purchase, you can get a full refund, no questions asked, thanks to our 100% money back guarantee. So go ahead and click the button below. For Paleo Valley, I'm Autumn Smith. Stay well.
This is rice. Think it's good for you? Think again.
There's one simple trick in controlling your weight.
Cardiothoracic surgeon Stephen Gundry says he solved the weight loss mystery.
You really have changed the way I think about what I eat.
Best book I've seen on diet ever.
If you've been struggling with your weight, I've got the solution for you.
People at home right now are saying, "I cannot believe what I'm hearing."
Sound too good to be true? Well, Dr. Gundry is living proof that his discovery works.
So I used to be 70 pounds overweight, and I was running 30 miles a week. I was doing half marathons on the weekend. I was going to the gym 1 hour every day and eating a healthy, low-fat vegetarian diet. And no matter what I did, I couldn't lose weight.
Then Dr. Gundry discovered a remarkable scientific breakthrough that changed everything.
I attribute almost all of my weight loss to the addition of one thing that I did to my diet.
This is a tomato. Think it's good for you? Think again. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, author of the best-selling books Dr. Gundry's Diet Evolution and The Plant Paradox. And I'm here today to blow your mind.
You see, over the last 30 years of research and performing over 10,000 surgeries, I've discovered some shocking things about the human body. Things that hold the key to helping you feel smarter, drop unwanted fat, enjoy easier digestion, have better-looking skin, control cravings for fattening foods, more energy without caffeine, live longer, and feel decades younger than you actually are.
Tell me if this sounds familiar.
When we were kids, we had tons of energy. We rarely experienced digestive pain, and we could eat whatever we wanted without gaining fat. But as we've gotten older, it feels like something in our bodies has changed.
You may experience digestive issues like bloating or constipation, cravings for sugar and carbs,
Skin rashes, breakouts, or redness, poor immune systems, frequent colds, headaches and brain fog,
excessive fatigue, weight gain, especially around the belly, and low mood or feeling like you're in a funk.
And when this happens, most doctors say there's nothing actually wrong. They may suggest cutting back on fast food or exercising more.
But what if I told you it was all lies?
What if I told you there was something wrong inside our bodies?
And even more shocking, that it's not your fault. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I've made this brand new video presentation for 2 reasons.
First, to tell you about what researchers are now calling leaky gut, a problem lurking deep inside the digestive tract that could be the root cause of low energy, digestive discomfort, brain fog, food cravings, weight gain, and even skin issues.
And the second reason I made this video
is to tell you there is a path to better gut health. Because there's not only hope for a solution, there's now clinical research proving this dangerous condition is real, and even better, a method to stop it. That could mean dramatically improved energy, fewer food cravings, help with weight management, finally tackling digestive discomfort, and best of all, getting the healthy body you deserve, both inside and out. I've seen this incredible transformation in thousands, yes, thousands of people who have all regained their health in ways they never thought was possible. But the first person I tried this simple solution on was me. You see, for decades I thought I was doing everything right. I was eating a healthy diet. After all, I'm a heart surgeon. I rarely ate fast food. I consumed low-fat dairy and whole grains. I ran 30 miles a week and worked out at the gym daily. Despite all this, I was 70 pounds overweight with high blood pressure, migraine headaches, arthritis, high cholesterol, and insulin resistance. I kept asking myself, if I'm doing everything right, why is this happening to me? Thousands of people watching this video also know that something isn't right, but they don't know what. Maybe they simply can't take control of their raging appetite or cravings for certain foods. Low carb, low fat, paleo, low glycemic, and the other diets haven't helped and weren't sustainable. Or after initial success, the lost weight quickly came back. The same goes for jogging, speed walking, weight training, aerobics, CrossFit, yoga, spinning, or whichever exercise programs people have tried to get rid of those stubborn pounds, only to see them not work out in the end. Many also deal with the frustration of digestive issues, headaches, aching joints, or morning stiffness. Some people also experience adult acne, brain fog, or a major lack of energy or a host of other conditions you just can't shake. A lot of people feel that somehow they're at fault for their poor health or excess pounds, making you feel guilty or even ashamed. Well, I'm here to tell anyone who's felt this way, it is not your fault. And it's high time for those symptoms to change. I'm going to tell you exactly what's been going wrong inside our bodies. It's something almost nobody is aware of yet. Not even a room full of doctors I was invited to speak to at Harvard. I'll tell you this story in a minute, and you're not going to believe how unaware some of these so-called Ivy League folks really are. I'm also going to tell you how I've helped thousands of people deal with these frustrating health issues. I want you to feel what they feel. The joy of finally getting control of painful digestive issues. The end of uncontrollable food cravings that lead to weight gain. All those unexplained skin, mood, and health issues vanishing quickly, like they should. And best of all, I want you to be brimming with energy. The kind of energy we had when we were young, and the kind of energy my patients and I have found once again, even at age 60 and beyond. But first, repeat after me. I am not to blame. That's right, these problems are not your fault. There is a simple path to looking and feeling great, but please prepare to have all your assumptions about what you thought was healthy turned on their head. In fact, some of what I'm about to tell you is going to fly directly in the face of what many doctors believe. So how can I be so certain about this issue plaguing millions of Americans and the simple, proven way to deal with it? Well, let me tell you about my medical background and how I discovered this shocking health solution, one that most doctors are completely in the dark about. Again, my name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon and celebrated nutritionist living in Palm Springs and Santa Barbara, California. I graduated with honors from Yale University and received my medical doctorate from the Medical College of Georgia. I spent 16 years as a professor of surgery and pediatrics and chairman of cardiothoracic surgery at the world-famous Loma Linda University School of Medicine. Along with my former partner, Leonard Bailey, I perform more infant and pediatric heart transplants than any other doctor in the world. I'm the inventor of the Gundry retrograde cardioplegia cannula, one of the most widely used devices to keep the human heart alive during open heart surgery. I was one of the original 20 surgeons who tested the world's first artificial heart and one of the first to use robots in surgery. I've seen thousands of patients with a spectrum of health issues, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, autoimmune conditions, diabetes, and obesity. But you may know me better from my appearances on shows such as Dr. Oz, or interviews on news channels across America, or my online videos on health and wellness, which have over 50 million views. And according to my colleagues, this video is my most important video to date. I'm also the personal physician for legendary self-help guru Tony Robbins, who was kind enough to recently say, Dr. Gundry is one of America's greatest and most knowledgeable physicians. and for years I've had the good fortune to benefit from his care. Why do Tony Robbins, Fortune 500 executives, and thousands of other Americans come to me for help? The answer is simple, because I'm willing to tackle medical issues that nobody else can fix. People come to me when they've been everywhere, Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, Princeton, UCLA, and they still can't find answers, because I'm not afraid to try solutions that go against the grain. In fact, in my experience, many health professionals are often behind on the latest research and in some cases actually doing more harm than good. And that's why, after 16 years as chief of heart surgery, I left my position at Loma Linda University School of Medicine. Why did I do it? Why would a successful doctor leave a prestigious career and turn his back on conventional medicine? Well, the reason may shock you. I realized that much of what I had learned, much of what we were telling patients, was flat out wrong. Specifically, my research showed that many of the conditions I was treating, weight gain, poor circulation, deteriorating health, heart issues, even mental decline, they were all starting in a place nobody was talking about, the gut. At first, it seems hard to believe that some, if not most, of the health issues we experience start in our digestive tract. And it can be fixed there, too. But take it from me, someone who has now spent decades researching, studying, and testing solutions in this field, most health problems you face in life can be traced back to your gut. And if you suffer from digestive issues, fatigue, skin problems, aching in joints, low mood, headaches and brain fog, or just a feeling that you're in a funk, but you're not sure why, you may be suffering from what I and other researchers now refer to as leaky gut. Now you're probably wondering, what is leaky gut? How are all these different health issues related? And what do they have to do with my digestive tract? Well, get ready, because I'm about to explain everything. Leaky gut is a term used to describe a simple problem with a devastating result, that the lining of your digestive tract may be leaky, allowing dangerous toxins to sneak into your body and wreak havoc on virtually every aspect of your health. Here's a simple way to understand leaky gut. When you eat some delicious food, it travels through your body along your digestive tract. Along the way, that food gets broken down in your stomach, and the good stuff gets absorbed into your system to provide you with nutrients and energy you need to survive. And the bad stuff, the junk like bacteria, toxins, and things that are dangerous to you, get processed and, well, you get rid of them when you go to the bathroom. It's our body's beautiful, natural system for making sure you get the most out of food, while easily and efficiently getting rid of the bad stuff. And for the most part, your body is designed pretty well. But here's the problem. Your digestive tract is very long. Amazingly, if you could take it out and look at it, your GI tract would have the same square footage as an entire tennis court. And yet, despite being this large, it's very thin. In fact, the lining of your digestive tract is only 1 cell thick. It's the thinnest thing that you can imagine. Now, here's what's cool about your body. Even though the lining of your digestive tract is razor thin, these cells are really tough. You can think of them like a line of Secret Service agents, locking arms, making sure nobody bad can break through your gut wall. And for the most part, nobody does break through. But here's the bad part. Thanks to new research by myself and others, we now know there's one dangerous thing that not only can break through, it's actually really good at destroying your gut lining. They're called lectins. If you've seen my other videos, you may have heard me discuss lectins before. But I have new information on lectins that's sending shockwaves through the medical community, which is why this is the most important video I've ever made. You see, lectins are tiny little proteins found in certain kinds of foods that are not supposed to be in your body. One famous type of lectin you may have heard of is gluten, but that's just one type. There's actually many found in various plants. Some common foods containing lectins are whole grain wheat, eggplants, and tomatoes. Many people have been told these are health foods, but in my opinion, they are anything but, because your ancestors didn't eat any of these so-called health foods. You see, tomatoes and eggplants weren't introduced to Western civilization until 1492, when Christopher Columbus discovered them in the New World and brought them back to Europe. Of course, he had no idea that they were packed with lectins, or the impact that they could have on human GI tracts, which had never been exposed to these foreign foods before. In the case of whole grain wheat, humans have been eating it for a while longer, since farming began about 10,000 years ago. But even then, most societies historically removed the dark wheat husk and instead ate white bread, which is not a coincidence, because it's in the dark husk that gut-destroying